Well, hello folks, welcome back to the homestead. So today's video, we are growing a plant called Katuk. Are you familiar with Katuk? It's a pretty awesome plant. It grows as a shrub. You can actually grow it as a hedge if you put things close enough together. It is a perennial, it's delicious, it's super nutritious, and best of all, it likes shade. I know a lot of plants don't like shade, so for those of us who have some shady areas that we want to try and find some cool things to fill in there, Katuk is great for that. And it'll grow in sun as well, but it really likes the shade. What it really does not like is dry soil, so you want to make sure it stays moist, and so covering it up with some wood chips will help to retain moisture. So in this video today, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how to take some cuttings. I got mine off of eBay. You might be able to find them on Amazon, or maybe even find somebody locally, but wherever you get your cuttings, we're going to talk about how to take those cuttings and then actually grow them, get them started to grow as a plant that you can then put out into the garden. All right, then in future videos we'll talk about how to take it all the way up to full size. All right, let's get started. All right, so I was getting a little ahead of myself, but here is the cuttings of the Katuk that was sent. This seller, they did a great thing, and they actually cut the ends of these that go into the soil on an angle, and they cut the top portion mostly flatter, and so that way you know which way to put it into the ground. They sent some that are a little thicker, some that are a little thinner. They sent some that are kind of woody, and they sent some that are much more green. So that gives us a bit of a variety. Katuk can be a little difficult to get to root, and so this gives you a good opportunity because depending on your conditions, your environment, your microclimate, all of that stuff, different ones may do better than another. And so he sent a little bit of everything, so that's good. So basically what I'm doing is right here where it's going to go into the ground, I'm just going to take my knife and I'm going to scrape off this outer bark layer a little bit to give something for the rooting hormone to adhere to on the underneath the bark down towards the cambium layer, and just scraping that off a little bit, and then we're going to dip it down here into the rooting hormone. Okay, knock off any excess. We don't need excess on there, and I'm going to stick it in the soil like that. Now there was 17 of them here. I ordered 15. He sent 17, so I sent me a couple of extras, which they usually do, and that's good. So I'm just going to put 3 in each of these containers, except for one of them will have 2. They have 6 containers, so that's I guess how math works. So I'll continue on here, and then we'll water them. Here's the main thing: is you want to keep these things moist. You want to keep them out of direct sunlight, and they want to be in a humid environment. So if you don't have a high humidity environment, then you can put a cover over them or something, a plastic cover or something to help the humidity build up. Try to keep your soil moist but not wet, and keep it out of the sunlight, especially for the first, say, about 3 weeks or so, until it really starts to go, get kind of accustomed to its new home. And then you can expose it to a little bit of sunlight, but not a lot. You don't want to put it in full sun. Give it maybe an hour or 2 of sunlight. Maybe even 3 hours is okay, but not even if it's not direct sunlight, that'd be even better, because they really prefer, especially at that stage, to have more shade. Okay, and that's kind of it for getting these started. So let me continue on here. All right, let's take a quick update. So this has been about just a touch over 2 weeks of these sitting here, and these are sitting in a shady spot on my back porch. Kept them moist with a little bit of watering every day, kept them here in the shade, and you can see we are getting some growth coming out of several of these. Even down there, even over there, right? You can see this one here, if we come in close, it looks like it is getting ready to start putting some growth out on that one there. Let's see on these ones. These ones, oh, there's some growth coming on that one. That one doesn't look like it's doing anything yet. Okay. But anyways, this is 2 weeks in. Now for reference, let's look at these ones here. These I started back at the beginning of May. So now this is, I'm recording this near the end of July. So this is almost 3 months of growth on these ones here. And they're about ready to be transplanted. I have some other ones that have already been transplanted we'll take a look at in a little bit. Just these ones have struggled a little bit more than those other ones. That one's looking pretty darn good now. But these ones here, you can see this, the leaves don't look super healthy. They haven't been quite as good and strong growers as the others. This one I think is definitely ready to go. These ones, I'm not for sure if they actually are ever going to get out there. They just don't look very healthy, and so they may have these ones may be failures. Let's go look at the ones that were transplanted. Actually, before we do go look at the ones that were transplanted, let's take a look at the root system that's on these here. So you can see this is starting to get root bound in here, so this really needs to get put out there. This one here, you can see there's one that we tried that just didn't even make it. Does look like maybe some healthier growth coming out of the bottom here. So maybe this one will survive, we'll see. But it probably needs to be repotted to give it a good chance, because it's starting to get some, it's not bound down the bottom, but it will be soon. Take a look at this one. Yeah, I mean, those are good roots. It's not bound, but it will be soon as well, so probably should be repotted if we want to continue to let it try to grow and come back strong. Okay, so now out here in the garden, we can start to see some of the ones that have been transplanted. So here's one here. All right. There's another one here. And another one here. Okay, and these were all put in approximately 2 weeks ago into the garden here, and they're looking pretty good. This one over here, there's something going on with the leaves there, but this was like that when I put it in, so hopefully it'll be a little happier now in this space and we'll see some recovery. All right, so those plants are also all from that early May group of cuttings that I started back then, so those are about 3 months old. And so that gives you kind of an idea of what you're going to do. If you're starting Katuk, you're going to get those cuttings, you're going to keep them moist, keep them in the shade for about 3 weeks or so before you put them out into some sun, but certainly not full all-day sun, maybe just a couple of hours a day of sun, and then they're probably going to want shade after that. And after about 3 months, you should be able to put them out into your garden. Now, stay tuned, because I will have another video coming soon that will show you kind of how we're going to go from this stage to the next stage. And beyond. And hey, if you liked the video, please hit the like button. If you have any questions, any comments, anything like that, questions, I'll be happy to answer. I'm not an expert, and I will always take suggestions because I am not an expert, and so I have a lot to learn, but I'm trying to share what I do know and what I can do. And if you think that I have earned your subscription, we'd love to see more from you, so please hit that subscribe button so you can see those upcoming videos taking this to the next level. Bye bye now.